First speaker is here doing his 5th project of the storytelling manual, advanced manual. This is his second visit to Young Adult Toastmasters Club, and he is from Bahrain Elites. When I asked him the question, he said that he had a fear of loneliness. I'm going to sum it up. And the only way to surpass his fear is to be more social, go to club meetings, etc., like what he's doing now. So please welcome Toastmaster Khurram Salman doing his 5th speech entitled The Champion.
It was the fight of his life in the year 1974. Our champion had just turned 32, but he had clearly lost his strength, speed, reflexes since the 20s. Not only had he lost that, but he had also lost his job for the past 3.5 years, and somewhat the trust of the people along with it. His opponent, on the other hand, named George Foreman, was an intimidating, brooding, brutal presence. He was considered to be the heaviest hitter in the history. His nickname was Rumble in the Jungle. All the people associated with the sports didn't give our champions even the slightest chance of winning. But as usual, our champion was confident and colorful before a fight. In all the press conferences and all the interviews, he told everybody, "I've done something different for this fight. I've wrestled alligators, tasseled whales, I've handcuffed lightning, threw thunder into jail. Only last week I murdered a rock, injured a stone, hospitalized a brick. I'm so mean, I make medicine sick." That was the confidence of our champion. The weeks were building up to the fight, the anticipation growing bigger and bigger. Everywhere you go, that was the talk of the hour. All the people were talking about this. People were calling it the fight of the century. Finally came that day. The ultimatum for our champion. The day for him to prove everyone wrong, the day for him to rise above all the doubts, the day for him to shine again. Before the fight, his dressing room seemed like a morgue. His trainers, his support team were all sad and down. At one point, he looked at everybody and noticed and asked them all, "Why are you so down? What's wrong with everybody?" His support team believed that he was going to be defeated. They had not an inch of doubt that he will not win. They were sad and down. They believed that the pride of the champion is going to make him take one of the worst beatings in the history. The ring that he used to own once is going to be his death blow. They were terrified. But our champion stood, looked into the eyes of every single one of them and said, "Oh, you're wrong about me. We're gonna dance tonight. We're gonna dance and dance and dance. And Foreman, he's gonna be bewildered. He has got nothing on me. We are going to dance." Our champion repeated this over and over and over again until the trainer, the managers, the support team, they were crying. And that's how he built the confidence of his team. The atmosphere of the fight was as it should be for a championship fight. Our champion was expected to dance. However, he did not. Bell rang First round started. Our champion came at Foreman with a different strategy. He threw 12 lead punches to knock him down or out, but instead, Foreman went crazy. He came back with more heavy punches again and again and again, and all of them connecting with our champion. The bell rang, the first round ended, our champion went to a corner. The nightmare that had awaited our champion had finally come to visit. He was in the ring with a man he could not dominate, a man who was stronger, a man who was more powerful, a man who could hit really hard, a man who was simply unstoppable. As our champion stood in the corner, catching his breath, you could see him looking into himself and talking to himself. It seemed as if he's asking himself and telling himself that this is the moment I have been waiting for. This is the hour. He asked himself, do you have the guts, boy? And he seemed to be nodding to himself. It's as if he's reassuring himself, you've got to get it together. You have to get it together. You will get it together. He was nodding, and it was as if he's not nodding to himself, as if he's looking into the eyes of the Maker. He stood up from the corner, looked into the eyes of the audience, the people who were attending, and shouted, Ali Bumaye, which meant Ali, kill him. Our champion, Muhammad Ali, went into the ring with new force, new energy, new focus. The crowd went wild and crazy. They were chanting, Ali Bumaye, Ali Bumaye. And it was his turn to pick up the pace. Next 4 rounds, George Foreman came to Muhammad Ali with force, hitting him again and again, pushing him towards the ropes. Our champion kept weaving and dodging and receiving some of the hits while sliding some of his own in. And all this time, our champion kept talking to Foreman. He kept saying to Foreman, Foreman, you're hitting like a girl. Foreman, you're not even breaking popcorn. Foreman, I thought you hit harder. While he was taunting Foreman, Foreman kept at him, until the 5th round when George Foreman exhausted himself out. It took him 5 rounds for him to be exhausted. Then came the 8th and the final round. This time, Ali came at Foreman with a different strategy. He threw a combination of punches. George Foreman, in a spectacular fashion, knocked down. 1, 2, 3, all the way up to the last 3 seconds. 8, 9, 10. Our champion had done the impossible. Our champion, Muhammad Ali, had regained his world heavyweight champion. He was the champion once again. He had proved to be strong once again. He had risen above everyone else's doubt. He had shown everybody and every single person who had doubted him what he is capable of, what he could do, what he just did. He proved that in the right meanings of the word, he was the people's champion. When no one else believed in him, he had to believe in himself. And he used to say, it's not the mountains up ahead that wear you out, it's the pebble in your shoe. It's the lack of faith that stops you from pursuing your dreams. All you have to do is just believe in yourself. That was the ideal of our champion. That's how Muhammad Ali became the greatest boxer of all time.
Toastmaster Khurram Salman.